So on Tuesday, we have discussed about motional EMF, electromotive force, discussed by the change of the magnetic flux with respect to the time. So it causes this there is induced current. So it could be that the change of this magnetic flux could cause this electric field, this induced electric field. Okay, this is the lens experiments. On the left, picture. Okay, if you pull this bar, this green bar here to the right, okay, so it will somehow this bar will have this a force exerted on this bar, which is again opposite to our force, this applied force. Okay, so it will cause that it will arise, it will induce the electric current here, because the fluxes increase, okay, with respect to the time. So it will induce this induced magnetic field, yes, which is the direction outside the page, okay, toward us. Okay, if you use your right hand, okay, so you will have that the direction of the current is counterclockwise, okay. Jadi ketika kita menarik batang ke kanan gitu itu nanti akan seolah-olah kita merasa ada gaya tambahan, yaitu akibat apa yang FB. Mohon maaf tadi terputus ya. Sebentar nih saya ganti dulu aja. Wifi. Bentar ya. Oke, tadi saya jelaskan. Oke, jadi kita balik lagi. Jadi ketika kita menarik batang ini ke kanan, di sini sebut F up, applied force on the bar, ya. Kemudian batang ini akan seperti melawan, gitu. Jadi ada gaya lawannya dia yang disebut FB. Ya. Dia seperti melawan gaya yang kita berikan. Nah, nanti lama-kelamaan gaya ini FB di sini akan sama dengan FF gitu ya, sehingga V di sini akan menjadi konstan gitu. Nah, jadi kalau boleh saya ini kan, karena flux ini bertambah di sini, flux itu bertambah kalau Anda ingat yang seperti ini ya, gambar yang sebelumnya. Gimana ini? Yang ini ya, jadi kan seperti magnetik itu mendekati batang gitu ya. Jadi dia akan menyebabkan adanya medan magnetik yang arahnya seperti melawan gitu. Jadi ke sana. Sama-sama north dia. Ini B indus gitu. Oke. Nah, sedangkan untuk kasus kita di sini ya itu juga sama, intinya bahwa fluxnya itu bertambah, ya. Sehingga nanti akan kita dapatkan, karena fluxnya itu bertambah, jadi akan ada medan magnetik induksi yang arahnya ke arah luar layar gitu ya. Sehingga nanti kalau Anda gunakan tangan kanan, itu akan Anda dapatkan Arusnya itu adalah I yang berlawanan dengan arah jarum jam. Oke? Oke, any question about this one? Jadi itu kesimpulan in bahasa ya. Oke, as the time increase, this bar will reach the equilibrium such that we have this equation. Yes. So the velocity, the terminal velocity, the final velocity of the bar is related to this electric and magnetic field. Okay. So this is the induced electric field here. Okay. So the potential difference on the bar is equals to this one. Okay. Is there any question? Any question? Okay, any question? Any question? No. Okay. If not, let us continue our discussion. So let us discuss about the example. So this is what we have discussed about this sliding bar. Yeah. So the figure 31.12 below describe moving frictionless parallel rails in the presence of a uniform magnetic field directed to the page. Okay, so this is the direction of the magnetic field inside the page. Okay, the bar has mass m and the length is l. The bar is given a velocity vi to the right, okay, and then it releases at t equals 0. So okay, this vi here is the velocity at t equals 0. So question A, using Newton's law, find the velocity of the bar as the function of time. Okay. Okay. Okay, if you use because the bar is moved to the right, okay, along the x-axis, okay. So we just only consider this as this one, okay. Fx is equal to ma, which is the mass, and a is the acceleration of the bar. Okay. If we use the Newton's second law, we will get that this ma equals to ILB, where I is equals to BLV over R divided by R. Okay. If we plug in this I here to the above equation, okay, we will get that this equation, okay. If you integrated this equation, you will get this equation 1, okay. It means that as t equals to, so t equals 0 is Vi, okay. As t goes to infinity, this V goes to 0, okay. As t goes to infinity, okay, V will goes to 0, okay. So as the time goes on, okay, this bar will at rest finally at the final stage. Okay, is there any question about this? Any question about this problem? Comments? No? Okay. Let us continue. So that the result, the same result is reached by using the energy approach. Oh, okay, this is the usual, another the same problem, but using using the energy an energy approach. Okay, so the rate of the energy transfer into the resistor, yeah, is equal to the bar. Okay, this is minus. Yeah, because this minus here is important because the energy leaving the bar, because the energy is leaving the bar, yeah, and the bar is have a negative number. Okay, this pair resistor, it means that we have this apa kita nyebutnya itu disipatif ya, disipatif energi ya, disipatif energi. Okay, if we use this one, well, we will get that this is the power in the resistor, okay, and this is the power of in the bar, which is the differentiate with respect to the time of the kinetic energy of the bar. So we will get the same result as if we use the Newton's second law. Okay, is there any question? Question? No question. Okay. So if you want to, so what if you want to compute, this is the velocity and this is the position or the distance of the bar, you just integrate this dx dt over this function. Okay. If you take this time to infinity, it means that the bar will at rest at the final stage. So this is the final position of the bar. This Vi times mr over b squared times L squared. Any question at this point? Comment or question? Question? Oke, cukup jelas ya. Jadi intinya adalah ketika ini saya tarik ya, dengan kecepatan awal VI pada T sama dengan 0, batang ini dia akan mendapat apa istilahnya akan melawan ya, ada apa namanya gaya FB di sini. Jadi kalau kita istilahnya memulai dengan cara ini, apa dengan cara menggunakan hukum Newton, itu akan kita dapatkan seperti ini gitu ya. Tanda minus di sini itu tandanya bahwa si apa batang itu melawan gitu ya, sifatnya melawan. Oke. Jadi didapatkan rumus ini, dan hasil yang sama juga kita bisa dapatkan dengan menggunakan perumusan energi ya gitu, dengan daya gitu. Kemudian di sini kalau Anda ingin mengetahui menghitung posisi akhir dari batang seperti apa, dan dapat didapatkan seperti ini. Oke, kalau tidak ada pertanyaan, kita masuk ke hukum Lenz. So this is the Lenz law ya. So we have discussed about this Lenz law and also give some example about it. Okay. So this is the Lenz law as we have discussed on Tuesday. Okay, if we have the magnetic bar and it moves toward this loop. Okay, so the magnetic flux on the loop will increase positively. Okay, so it will arise the induced magnetic field here. Okay, such that if you use your right hand, you will get that the induced current here, the induced current will have this direction. Okay. So this is the induced magnetic field. This one. This is the induced. Okay. But if we move away this magnetic bar, from this loop, okay, they will have the induced magnetic field like this, such that if you use your right hand, you will get that the direction of the induced current is like this. Okay. This one. Okay. So what is the Lenz law state? That so I will directly. Okay. It's not state here yet. I think it's, just a moment. Just a moment. Oh yeah, this is the Faraday law of induction. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So this is the Lenz law. Yeah. This experiment, this one, yeah, already done by Lenz. Yeah, we have discussed on Tuesday. Okay, about the induced EMF and the electric field. Okay, so if we consider, for example, a conducting loop, of the radius little r here, and we have the And this conducting loop is in the field of uniform B. Yeah, it could also be, for example, it changes in time. Okay, so it will so B here, it depends on time. This B depend on time. Okay, so it means that we have this B here as a function of T. Okay, this one. Okay. So it means that oops, sorry, I forgot. Okay, it means that if you use this equation here, so this phi b here, this phi b here is b as a function of t times p r squared. Okay. So it means that the induced EMF, which is the potential difference, is the d phi b over t. Okay, so we will get that this is p r squared dB over dt. Okay, but we know that this potential here, using this formula, here is equal to E times 2 pi R. Okay. So it means that, So it means we could express this induced electric field as a function of the derivative of B. Okay, this one. Okay. So what we have discussed about this simple example is that this Faraday's Lenz law of induction, this one, we could say that this is equals to this potential difference on the loop. This is the general formula, this 31.9, the general formula of Faraday Lenz law of induction. Okay. Is there any question in this case? Any question? Okay. So this is the application of, just a moment. Okay, let's just discuss about the Faraday-Lenz law of induction. So about this solenoid, this is a long solenoid, have a radius capital R and turns of wire per unit length, which is carrying a time varying current that varies sinusoidally as the function of I equals to I max cos omega t, where I max is the maximum current and omega is the angular frequency. Just a moment. Okay. So this is the Lenz law, okay. This is the magnetic flux here, okay. So we have this B for the solenoid is B equals to mu0 I N, capital N, I think, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one. Okay, sorry. I didn't see. Okay, this I here as a function of T, okay. So you will get that the induced electric field, yeah, if you use this result from above, you will get this. You will get that this E here equals to this one, okay, which is outside the solenoid, okay. What about inside the solenoid? Okay, so this is which is inside the solenoid, this one, okay. So the difference is there is a capital R here compared to this one. Okay, is there any question in this case? Any question? Okay, any question? Oke, jadi saya ulangi lagi ya. Jadi intinya begini, kita mau merumuskan hukum Faraday-Lenz itu secara umum gitu. Jadi yang kita dapatkan kan tadi itu adalah bahwa epsilon yang merupakan beda tegangan induksi yang dihasilkan itu rumusnya seperti ini. Terkait dia perbedaan flux ya. Jadi karena flux itu berubah terhadap waktu. Oke, nah kita ambil contoh misalkan ada seperti ini adalah loop yang konduktor ya, yang berada pada medan magnetik yang berubah terhadap waktu. Oke, jadi fluxnya itu rumusnya adalah seperti ini. Oke, di mana B-nya itu fungsi dari T, intinya gitu. Nah kita dengan menggunakan rumus ini integral E dot dl gitu ya, itu didapat sama dengan E kali 2πr untuk kasus loop kita ya, sehingga nanti didapat bahwa E induksi itu adalah epsilon dibagi beda tegangan dibagi kelilingnya, keliling dari loop. Oke, nah jadi kalau saya masukkan ke rumus yang Lenz tadi itu didapatkan bahwa medan listrik induksi itu tidak lain adalah terkait dengan turunan dari medan magnetik terhadap waktu di persamaan 31.8. Nah, artinya apa? Dari sini tuh kita untuk contoh yang sederhana, jadi kita mau merumuskan hukum Faraday-Lenz, hukum induksi Faraday-Lenz. Ya. Jadi rumusan umumnya seperti ini. Jadi ini kita ambil contohnya untuk yang kasus loop tadi. Jadi walaupun ini kita ambil kasus loop yang sederhana, tapi rumusan 31.9 ini berlaku secara umum. Artinya apa? Perubahan dari flux medan magnetik itu menyebabkan adanya medan listrik atau adanya medan listrik induksi. Intinya seperti itu. Kemudian juga kita bahas terkait dengan solenoid yang panjang ya. Jadi bisa dikatakan ini solenoid ya dia lilitannya sangat rapat tapi dia punya panjang ya, sehingga akan ada medan magnetik di luar dari solenoid tersebut. Gitu. Oke. Nah, jadi kalau demikian, contohnya seperti ini. Kalau saya langsung masukkan rumusan ini, jadi kita buatnya path integration. Jadi apa disebut ini? Ya seperti apa ya? Kalau di itunya itu garis seperti garis ampere, tapi sini garis Faraday lens lah kita sebutnya. Jadi kita nyebutnya garis Faraday lens seperti ini. Jadi ini adalah untuk kasus di mana yang A-nya itu, yang R itu lebih besar daripada R besar, jadi di luar radiusnya. Oke. Nah, karena flux itu adalah di dalam itu, jadi flux di sini itu kan artinya flux yang keseluruhan di solenoida. Jadi ini adalah B kali Pi kali R besar kuadrat. Karena B-nya itu bergantung pada T, yaitu μ0N kali I, gitu ya. Itu didapatkan bahwa rumus untuk E-nya di luar dari solenoida itu adalah seperti ini. Nah, kalau untuk yang di dalam itu kita dapatkan, ya. Jadi karena fluksnya itu, dia luasnya itu baru sebatas di sini. Ya, jadi di sini adalah yang R untuk lebih kecil dari R besar, gitu ya. Sehingga fluksnya itu adalah B dikali Pi R kecil kuadrat. Gitu. Makanya di sini dapatnya Pi R kuadrat kecil ya, bukan R besar ya, karena dia di dalam. Sehingga nanti didapatkan E-nya itu adalah rumusnya seperti ini untuk yang R lebih kecil dari R besar, artinya yang di dalam. Oke, sampai sini dulu ada pertanyaan nggak? Pertanyaan? Pertanyaan? Oke, any question? Ada pertanyaan? Tidak ada. Oke, kita lanjutkan. Jadi ini salah satu aplikasi dari one of the application of Faraday lens in law of induction is the application about the motor generator, which is in which there is a motor inside, and this motor is like this, okay. So this is the external rotator, and this is the loop, okay, and this is the permanent magnetic field. So for example, if you have this water generator electrical station, for example, ya, PLTA, pembangkit listrik tenaga air. Jadi external rotator ini akan digerakkan oleh apa istilahnya, oleh air gitu, arus air, sehingga loop ini akan berputar. Sehingga kalau dia itu berputar akan ada perubahan flux yang menyebabkan adanya arus gitu ya. Nah, arus ini adalah arus yang sifatnya alternating current, arus bolak-balik gitu ya, bukan arus searah. Jadi gambarannya arus induksi itu we could describe it as a function of T ya. This is, for example, for sinusoidal, like this. So that's why our source at home, yeah, this the electricity is AC electricity, yeah, alternating current, yeah. So the alternating current means that the current is depend on time, especially for sinusoidal function. Yeah, so this is how it works, the motors, So this is the flux that has been produced result as the motor rotated, between this magnetic permanent. Okay, this VB is equal to A cos theta, and theta is depend on time. For simplicity, this theta, the rotation is the motion is istilahnya kita bahasa ininya gerak melingkar beraturan, ya. Sehingga theta di sini itu fungsinya linear terhadap t. Jadi ini omega t di sini. So we will get that the induced potential difference in this case is also depend on time, okay, which is also the sinusoidal. And we will get that this Emax here is NAB times omega. Okay, any question about this? Any question? Any question? No. Okay. Okay, in this case, let us continue to discuss about module 4, ya. Sorry. So because one of your friend did not yet work about this module, okay? So I will discuss only until problem 5, B. Okay, question A. A proton travels through a region of space with no acceleration. Which one of the following statement is the best conclusion? Okay. The best conclusion. E and B must be 0 in that region. That's also true, of course. B is not, okay. C, okay. C is okay. E and B might both be non-zero, but they must be mutually perpendicular. So the solution is A and C. Okay. Is there any question in this case? Any question? Okay. So let us continue. If there is no question. Number 2, the figure shows the 4 situations in which 2 very long wires carry the same current. The point P in the drawing is equidistant, have the same distance here. Have the same distance from each other. Which one of these situations gives rise to zero magnetic field? In this case, 2 and 4, only 1, only 2, 2 and 3. Okay, so the solution, jadi arah medan magnetik itu, Jadi kalau Anda lihat, misalkan di gambar 1 ya. Jadi di gambar 1 arah medan magnetiknya gimana? Arahnya ke sini kan ya. Kemudian kalau yang di bawahnya itu juga sama di sini. Jadi nomor 1 bukan, itu dia saling menguatkan. Kalau dia itu searah, berarti satu ke sana, ya, satunya lagi ke sana. Nah ini bisa yang 2. Kemudian kalau untuk yang tegak lurus gimana? Kalau satu ke sana, kalau yang ini berarti gini gitu ya, mohon maaf. Kalau yang satunya ke sana, ini juga begini. Berarti ini nggak bisa. Sedangkan yang ini ya berarti ini ke sana satu, yang satu lagi sana gitu ya. Keluar maksud saya. Jadi yang mungkin itu 2 dengan 4. Oke. Nah, tapi titik P itu berjarak sama. Kalau berjarak sama sih biasanya otomatis 2 dan 4 ya. Oke. Oke. Nomor 3. Number 3. In the figure, 2 charged particle move in the vicinity of the current wire. Okay. For each charged particle, the arrow indicates the initial direction of the motion. Yeah. A is a plus, yeah. B is a minus, C is minus, D is the plus. Okay. For each of the particle indicates the direction. Oh, okay. For each particle, determine the direction. Yeah. Indicate the direction of the magnetic force due to magnetic produced by the wire. Okay, so for particle A, okay, we have the direction of the magnetic field is outside, yeah, outside the page, yeah, above and below is the page. Okay, if you use your right hand, okay, so you will get that the magnetic force at particle A is this one, okay, above. Okay, but what about this one? Just a moment. What about this one? Okay. But for B, yeah, the magnetic field, the magnetic force, yeah, should be to the left, but this is negative, so should be to the right. Okay, FB. Okay. Is there any question in this case? Okay. Okay. Sorry. This one. Okay. This. Okay. I'm sorry. This is should be the opposite. Sorry. Should be here. Sorry. FB. Yeah. This one. Okay. Yeah. It's negative. Okay. Any question? Any question? So you could do also for C and D. Okay. Okay, number 3. So this is number 3. Number 4. 2 long straight wires, each of them carrying a current I out of the page. Okay, indicate see figure, indicate the appropriate arrows in the direction of each point. State that if the field zero at any points, Sebentar. Dua kawat lurus panjang masing-masing membawa arus I keluar kertas. Oke. Ke arah pembaca. Seperti itu pada gambar sebelah kanan. Or something. Gambarkan panah-panah yang sesuai arah medan magnetik di setiap titik 1 sampai 6. Oke, di manakah posisinya menghasilkan medan magnetik 0? Oh, oke. Oke, this blue one is the wire ya. Oke. Is the wire. Oke. Okay, you see that for this point 4 here, point 4, it's something like this, okay? This one and also this one. Okay, this is the B here. So it will have 0 if at point 2, yeah. This one. Okay. Yeah. Any question? No. Okay, number 5. Apakah magnet akan menarik semua benda-benda logam seperti yang tembaga? Jelaskan mengapa demikian. Oke. Jadi intinya ini tidak semua logam itu merupakan ferromagnetik ya. Ada logam-logam seperti kuningan itu dia tidak ferromagnetik, dia malah bahkan lebih ke diamagnetik. Kalau ke diamagnetik itu berarti tidak bisa ditarik oleh magnet gitu ya. Jadi hanya bahan-bahan magnet saja yang ferromagnetik ya. So the magnet will attract only a metallic object which is a ferromagnetic object ya. Jadi so for example seperti kuningan itu tidak merupakan ferromagnetik tapi dia diamagnetik itu bahkan paramagnetik. Okay, any question for this part 1, number 5? Okay, let us continue for part B. So we have these two charged particles move in the same direction with respect to the magnetic field. Okay. Just a moment. Two charged particles have the same direction. I think it translates wrong, yeah. It's not, sorry. Not this one. In the magnetic field, just say in the magnetic field. So it assumes that the magnetic field is perpendicular to this charged particle. Okay. So you will get that this oh, okay. Find the ratio of Q1 over Q2. Okay. Okay. Is there any question? So each particle have the same magnitude of the magnetic force. Okay. 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 Any question? No. Okay. Number one. Number two. Wires carrying a current. Okay. 0.66 ampere. This wire makes an angle of 58 degrees with respect to magnetic field. Okay. What is the length of the wire? Okay, you just directly use the formulation. Okay, you will get this wire is 2.7 meter. Okay, number 3. Gambar berikut menunjukkan lintasan sebuah partikel atau elektron di dalam sebuah medan magnetik. Besar gaya yang dialami ini adalah ini. Tentukan jenis muatan partikel tersebut. Okay, so for example, if we assume that the particle is positive, okay. Let's say the particle is positive. So if you use your right hand, okay, use your right hand, okay. So you will get that this particle should be a positive charge, okay. If the negative charge, the direction of the force to be like this. If the particle is negative charge, okay. So because this is consistent with our assumption, so this should be a positive charge particle, okay. Di kecepatan, besar kecepatan partikel tersebut dan jari-jarinya sekalian. Oke. Oke. Nggak apa-apa nih kita ini karena saja. Jadi elektron, just a moment. I think it's not electron. It should be a positive particle. Positive particle. Okay. So you will get, using this formula, you will get the magnitude of the magnetic field. Yeah, it's sorry, it's not V, it's not B here. It's not B. Yeah, it's V here. Okay. Okay. Should be V here. This is B. This is B. Okay, you will get that this V equal this one, and the radius of this one is okay. Not meter per second, it's meter. It's very bad. Okay, any question about this case, about this problem? Any question? No? Okay, let us continue. Number 4. So jadi sebuah loop kawat berbentuk segitiga ditunjukkan di gambar. Oke, tentukan besar dan arah gaya magnet pada setiap sisi segitiga. Oke, medan magnetiknya arahnya ke kanan. Kalau di sini Anda bisa tebak nggak yang 0 itu yang mana? Halo, halo. Tes. Dia Dalila. Dia Dalila. Halo? Ya, dia Dalila. Halo?
Yes, sir.
Ya, bisa Anda tebak nggak? Kira-kira gaya yang sama dengan 0 itu yang mana? Nah, ini udah ketahuan ya di jawabannya. Udahlah. Oke, sudah. Cuma bilang segmen AB ya. Kenapa? Karena dia berlawanan arah kan ya. Sehingga sudutnya itu 180 derajat. Ini akan 0. Oke. Sedangkan yang lainnya ya Anda bisa pakai di sini. Ya, sudutnya. Oke. Jadi untuk yang AB itu 0, BC itu adalah segini, 20,1. Untuk yang AC itu adalah sama 20,1. Oke. Kalau F totalnya itu kalau Anda lihat di sini, antara FBC dengan FAC itu dia gayanya itu sama besarnya tapi arahnya berlawanan. Ya, sehingga totalnya kalau kita jumlahkan FAB tambah FBC tambah FAC itu jadi 0. Oke. Okay, number 5. We have 2 wire which is perpendicular to each other. Find the magnitude of the net of the point. Okay. So you will use this formula, okay? So you will get that this for AB, yeah, because so this is basically so for this case here is this one, yeah, and this one. So this should be minus one of them. But in this case, this should be this one and this one. Oh, okay, this is also, this should be minus. Okay, this is minus. Okay, this is both of them are minus. Okay. Okay, you will get this one. Any question about this number 5, this final, okay? Final problem what we will discuss this morning. Any question about this? No question. Okay. Jadi saya